Hi there. Are you here for the inking class? Yes. Okay, did you pre-register? No? That's fine. We can get you registered here. I just need to get a little bit of information from you. So I need your first and last name. Okay. And your email address. Okay. And then I need a phone number. That's 509. Okay, and then I need a mailing address. And then the class is $30, the fee. But with that, you'll get a coupon for 10% off of any purchase that you make today with us. And in addition, you get to choose 3 ink colors that you get to take home with you for free with the class. So yeah, it's a pretty good deal because the inks just by themselves are about $7 a piece. So yeah, it's a good deal. So okay, all right, thanks. So here's your coupon. And if you just want to go have a seat, we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Okay. Okay. I think we're about ready to get started. It looks like we have a full class today, so that's great. You're gonna see some supplies and tools on your tables. If you can just leave those where they are for the time being until we go over a few things, some kind of ground rules, if you will, then you'll be a little bit more successful at using the inks. Sometimes if you aren't really sure what inks to mix and match, you can end up with kind of like a muddy brown color, which isn't very attractive. So we'll go over all that, and then we'll do some projects so you can try them out. So these inks are, as you can see, are pretty vibrant in color. They come out just like you see them in the bottle, so they're really bright, which is really nice. You can use them for art projects. You can use them. A lot of people use them for art journaling. Any kind of porous, surface they'll work on. So you could use them on a canvas, for example. But today we're just going to mainly be working with some heavy watercolor paper with these inks. So there's just a couple of kind of ground rules when using these inks. There's a total of 20 colors of inks. We're just going to be working with 10 of them today, but there's a lot of other colors to choose from, and we have them here in the store too if you want to purchase some of those after the class. So what you want to do is keep the cool colors and the warm colors together. That way you can avoid having kind of a muddy mess on your project. So for example, you'll see that all the reds and the yellows and the oranges, actually the reds and the pinks and the oranges, sorry, are in the same little baskets on your desk. That's because these are all considered warm colors. And what I do at home, just so that I don't forget, is I mark a W on all my warm colors so that I don't ever get confused. So the 3 warm colors that we have today are cherry pie, which is kind of like a hot pink. And we have a bubblegum pink. And then we have a tangerine dream, which is like an orange color. So those 3 colors will go really well together. And then we have the cool colors, and those are the greens and the blues and the yellows. Again, I mark these with the C to be sure that I don't get them mixed up. This one that we have today is Vibrant Turquoise. This is probably my favorite color in the mix. It's really pretty. And then we have a Fresh Lime, and we have a London Blue. So these go really well together. And we have a group of colors you'll see in a third basket on your tables, which can go with any of the warms or the cools for the most part. So we have a white linen, so that can go with any of these. And a lot of times when you use the white linen with these colors, it will make a more of a pastel appearance, so they won't be quite as vibrant. They'll just be more muted colors, but sometimes that's okay, and that's what you're going for. So we have white linen, and then we have black marble, and we have slate gray, and these will go well with any of the colors that you have in the warm or the cool section. And then this is kind of a funny color. This one is called Crushed Grape, and it's not a cool color, and it's not a warm color. So with this one, you can, this is the only one that you can use two colors of the opposite group. So for example, you could use Crushed Grape with a warm color like Cherry Pie, and you can also throw in a cool color like Vibrant Turquoise. So those three would go well, and it wouldn't make a muddy mess on your paper. So this is kind of the bridge between the two groups. This is the only time that you could use three colors with two, like a warm and cool together, is with this grape. And that goes for any of the cools or the warms that you want to use. So now that we kind of know a little bit about the colors and how to mix those together, typically I will use three colors on one project. You could use more than that though. If you want to use 4 or 5 on one project, you can do that, just keeping in mind that you need to keep the warms and the cools separate unless you're using that grape in between them. Part of the reason why it can make kind of a muddy mess if you use a cool and a warm color is because these colors they blend really well together, so that if you do like an orange and a pink, they're both in the warm school, I guess, or group, these will blend so that in between, when you overlap the spray, is a really pretty new color. It's not orange and it's not pink, it's a new color. If you were to use like these two warm ones and try to mix in a blue, that's when you're going to get like a brown mess. So this doesn't look very pretty because these just don't blend well together. So just a little bit of information there. So before you spray these inks, the first thing that you want to do is you want to prep your surface with some water, and the best way to do that is just to have a spray bottle with some water in it. You can spray on the paper before you start, and that will really help the colors to blend as well. As you'll see, some of the techniques that you might do with these inks as we move through these projects, you might want it not to blend so well. So you might want it to look kind of splotchy, and in that case you might not use water, or might not use a lot of water. But generally speaking, you'd want to prep your surface by spraying some water on it. So let's just do a little experimenting here. And so this is a art journal book. I haven't really worked in this one a lot yet. It's kind of an experimental art journal. But actually, before we start, I should probably tell you, there's some aprons hanging on the back of your chairs, and I would recommend wearing an apron, or just be really careful because these sprays won't wash out of your clothes. They can make a mess. And so also I would recommend having some kind of a craft mat or You can just use some wax paper. That works well for me. I use wax paper quite a bit in my crafting because it's inexpensive and it's easy to use. So, here's craft paper. I'm gonna look at just choose. I think I might. I'm gonna probably rip out. Just trying to find where the signature is in this book so I can rip it out. So we have this out of an art journal, so it's pretty thick paper. It's watercolor paper. It's pretty good surface. And I think today, let's first just go with one of the, we'll go with the cool group colors that we have here. So we're going to try the vibrant turquoise and the fresh lime and the London blue. So the first thing we're going to do, if you recall, is we're going to wet our surface with some water. And there's no right or wrong behind how much water you put on there. Just what you think is good. So first we're going to start with the blue. And you can kind of see get some more fingers there. See it? It's pretty bright. It'll come off with soap and water, but anyway. So now I've gotten the blue. So next let's do the fresh lime. And you see I'm kind of spreading it out because I want to spray other colors in between so it really kind of blends together and there's not like one central spot of ink. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. The other thing is I just shook this. It's just out of habit, but you don't actually need to shake these at all. They're mixed and they don't have anything in it that would settle to the bottom. So the only exception to that is the white. And they recommend that you store the white on its side because it does have some pigment in there. So let's try this. Some green. And lastly, we'll do the vibrant turquoise. Okay. So now you're going to take your yellow paper towels that you should have on your table and you're going to roll it over it. Back and forth like this. Okay, so you can see it's really pretty. The greens and the blues. And we'll set that one aside over here to dry. So now let's see what happens when we try the purple with a cool and a warm color. So let's tear this out. Okay, and again we're going to wet the paper. So this time we're going to use our crushed grape, and we're going to use cherry, actually use bubblegum pink, and we're going to use vibrant turquoise. Okay, so first let's spray on some pink. And let's do the purple. And now let's do the blue. Okay, and I'm just going to take the same paper towel, it's not going to hurt it, and I'm just going to run it all over it. Okay, oh, that's really pretty, look at that. Really bright. Okay. So now we've gotten those two. Next, let's do a little experimenting with the colors and the light. See what happens. Okay, so the water again. And this time we'll use the Tangerine Dream, and we'll use Cherry Pie and the bubblegum. Okay, now let's try some white. You see instantly the colors become much more muted and pastel-like. So I'll take this off. And roll it over. Okay, look at that one. Pretty. So you can kind of tell a little bit of a difference. See how bright this one is, and this one's much more pastel. It's still pretty bright, but it's more muted, the color. So these are really great for backgrounds. So a lot of times what you can do is create a neat background with inks, and then you can stamp over the background, or you can collage over the background. So there's lots of fun things that you can use these inks for. I've also done a few tags with the inks, so you can create tags with them. So you can also use masks or stencils. So if you place that over it and then spray it over it, you'll see the pattern on the paper. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do something like this, and we're first going to ink our paper, and then we're going to use some stencils over it with some paint. That's kind of what I did here. This is a stencil. This is another technique I'll show you here in just a minute with the inks. And then we have a pile of catalogs that you can look through, and we're going to make some little people. with maybe just a fun phrase that you find that's already made in the magazine, or you can cut out words to create your own phrase. So it's just like a simple way to art journal. It's kind of a fun way to do it. This space here is actually a stamped image, and we have black ink and the stamps over there with a lot of different faces and bodies so that you can create something unique. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this technique here where it looks like a little circles on your paper. So we'll just take this one here that we did earlier. And this is a really simple way to just add some interest to your paper, especially if you don't own a lot of stencils or tools. You can always look for things around the house to use on your projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this crushed grape and I'm going to just squirt a little bit on my waxed paper, and I'm going to take the lid that goes to the grape and I'm going to dip it in that ink to the bottom of the lid, and I'm going to press it just in random intervals on my paper. And I'm even going to overlap some and make it go off the paper a little bit. So, let that lid off. Just put it back on the bottle. So you can see there, it's just added a little bit and kind of made a little stamp out of the lid. So that's a really simple way to add a little bit of interest. You can always blot it a little bit with your paper towels. And this one's already getting pretty dry, so it doesn't take a super long time for your papers to dry when you can start working on them. You can always use a heat gun on them too. That'll make it go by a little faster. So I think that's it for this portion of the class. So we're going to go ahead and take a small break. So if you need to use the restroom or get a little snack, we have a snack table over here. Feel free to do that. And when you come back in about 10 minutes, we will go ahead and start on our first project. See you in a few.